Yesterday's disastrous close, the Dow plummeted more than 500 points, erasing nearly half of its gains for the year. It's the worst day since last March. It all went down after a key inflation report showed consumer prices rose more than expected in January, I believe 3.1%. There you go. Here's what all this means for your wallet. Making money is the name of his show. Charles Payne is the name on his license. He's with Fox Business. Charles,
yeah.
When you saw the rise in consumer prices, did you expect this?
I did expect it. I'm shocked that this number hasn't reflected it already, to be quite frank with you. There's a lot of anecdotal reports out there. One from the ISM, which is, anyone on Wall Street knows. Service and manufacturing prices paid are going through the roof. We are seeing this everywhere in all this data. And what's really amazing to me is the economists, how they just always kind of get it wrong. I just always wonder, do you have anyone in your family that's middle class? Anyone in your family that's poor? Because the things that drove up the CPI report are things that this was not news on Main Street. Rents aren't going down. Auto insurance through the roof, home insurance through the roof. Things that you need to live every day through the roof, not coming down.
But they thought that since inflation was coming down, so would interest rates. And then when that went up, they realized that is a pipe dream. Well,
here's the thing. The pace of inflation is different than costs coming down. And ultimately what's going to have to happen is... Listen, too much money came into the system, Brian. We're living in a social experiment called modern monetary theory. Essentially, the bigger the government, the more money it can print, and the more money it can foist on the American public, and the better we all feel. And it's like going out to a bar, right? Again, I made this analogy before. 10 o'clock, it feels pretty good. But the next day, it's pretty tough. Even the day after that, day after that. We're still living in the aftermath of all of that. And it's the job of the Federal Reserve to somehow fix it. They can't fix it.
Right, and we're in a hangover. California wants to raise the minimum age, at least according to one candidate, Lee, to $50 an hour. How would that work, Charles?
Places
minimum
like
wage.
Minimum wage. It's all, by the way, their minimum wage made a big jump already. In April, it's making a big jump to $22, I think, fast food workers.
That's $27,000. She says it's not good enough.
Well, listen, this is sort of the egg and the chicken and the egg thing. California's always had these arbitrary rules on things like minimum wage. But if you artificially price wages higher, then you have to price the product higher. That creates the inflation that this candidate is talking about. Meanwhile, the families at the bottom can't even afford it, right? Already, California has the most expensive Big Macs. Those prices are going to go up. But ultimately what happens is McDonald's will invest as much money as possible to find a way to have as few human beings working there. Here's who really...
Automation.
Let me tell you what really, the real underbelly of this, the real bad underbelly of this that nobody talks about, is that we're rewarding minimal behavior. Right. We're telling people, hey, drop out of high school. We'll still find a way to get you $50. We're telling Americans, be the minimum you can be. This is the real problem. And for her to do this and her constituents, they're actually, at the end of the day, going to come out with more expensive prices they can't afford, fewer job opportunities, and less education. Think about that. Those are the three things that destroy family.
I don't have to think about what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch your show, Making Money, this afternoon.
Big day, big day.